Hello, want to welcome you back to my series on doing construction in Jamaica. You're in tune to Wake Up and Live, and this is Bob. If you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing my videos, as they can be a wealth of help to you on a number of issues in Jamaica. All right, so today I want to look at some simple mistakes that we make when doing construction that can cost us a whole lot of money or a whole lot of headaches. All right, so if you don't hear anything else I say today, I wanted to hear this first one I'm going to tell you. When doing construction, be very careful about sea sand, about any builder or anyone or you yourself using sea sand. Do not be tempted if you're doing it yourself, or if someone is doing a little hustle for you. All right. Sea sand. The mistake of using sea sand in construction can it, it, starting from the foundation, can be a poorly laid foundation to begin with, setting up for a destabilized house. That's not even the end of it. Every steel you use in that house is subject to rusting and peeling apart. You'll see steel peel apart like you're peeling onions. All right. The concrete will peel apart also, peel apart totally, leaving the bare steel exposed. The wiring in in your house can be affected, even though most wiring are copper. There's still some sort of wiring you used to bind the steels and all those stuff, and wiring, different other forms of wiring that can be affected by that. So be very mindful, very careful. Don't if your cousin Cephas promised you that he can lay a couple blocks or add on a room to your house, be very careful of that. All right, because all sand, sea sand is a destructive thing. Make sure you're buying it from places that are actually dealers that sell sand, or truck drivers that haul sand from who are reputable and understanding of that. Another thing I want to warn you about is termites. My lord, termites. Termites will eat down your roof, your counters, your doors, your cupboard doors, your regular house doors, your furniture. I've seen termites eating down doors to the point where if you poke it, it just breaks like a paper. That's how dangerous they are. But how does termites generally get into your house? Please understand that Jamaica does not produce most of the lumber or plywood or wood products that it uses. It imports them. And so these things come in already laden with termites sometimes if they're not treated. All right. Treating termites in lumber and stuff like that is usually like a oil-based thing, if I'm not mistaken, and that prevents that from happening. But they come in many times into the country already laden with termites, and plywood is notorious for being laden with termites already. So plywood, watch out for plywood. All right, untreated lumber. Make sure that your workers are getting treated lumber. All right, to for areas that require that. Make sure that things like ready-made door jambs, you check them for termites. Look for the tracks, their evidence and signs in there. If most times, of course, you're not doing it, but getting an experienced builder generally know those things. But for you, the owner, you should know a little bit also about these things. You don't want to be in the dark about the names of things or the quality of things or the type of things that you're actually purchasing. You should take some time to understand at least the basics of these things. All right. Wooden doors too will come with termites if they're pre-made. Um, one school of thought, and I'm not telling you to just buy that door or those type of doors, but one school of thought is that locally made doors, oftentimes like doors made out of cedar or mahogany, or those woods are usually less likely to be termite ridden. Not that they can't be termite ridden, but they're less likely to be termite ridden. Um, because the local builders, are more concerned about things like that. All right. Furniture. When you buy certain furniture made by certain people, it, you want to make sure sometimes that you understand the wood, the type of wood that is being used for your furniture. Um, when I say type of wood, you want to make sure that the wood that they're using aren't, if you want cedar furniture, ask that your furniture be made from cedar or mahogany or whatever. Those are less likely to be um, possessed by termites. Because they're not being shipped in from abroad and mixed in with other things that they got contaminated or stuff like that. All right. The next mistake I want to warn you about is buying ply. The wrong ply can be a huge problem for you. Not only that some ply are at risk of termites, but the wrong ply can be a huge problem for you. It's important that you understand that there are plies that are used indoors and plies that are used outdoors. There are plies like marine plies that can take a lot of water. You see them used to create boats and stuff like that. There are plies that are finishing plies. They're smooth and nice and need just only little sanding when they're actually using them to do things. Their plies used primarily for construction. You know, it, these using the wrong ply, for example, a rough ply to do something that's requires a smooth ply, could cost you a lot more money with people having to sand down that rough ply and all of that stuff. And it's important that you understand that little issue there. All right, lumber. I've discussed lumber before. The wrong type of lumber can also cost you a lot of money in having to fine tune or finish it properly, like sanding down. You could be buying their finishing lumber and their rough lumber and their construction type lumber, and they're just different types of lumber. And it's important that you kind of understand at least the basic in these things. Pre-mix mortar. Pre-mixed mortar. It's becoming a popular thing I see in Jamaica, where people, but where it stores are selling the mortar already mixed. You just need to add water to it. Um, uh, you Countries like the United States, which makes these products, and I'm not saying that the products are necessarily bad, but there are different standards for building in the United States and in Jamaica. If you notice, the United States contractors will tell Jamaican contractors that they waste material. They use too much cement, and they fill out too many block holes or stuff like that. That is an indication that the standards are different, and these pre-mixed cement products can be a problem if you're trying to do certain things in Jamaica. You don't know the strength of it, even though it may say on the thing, but the mixture in general, the mixture in Jamaica is just it suits the houses that are being built in Jamaica. All right, let's just say that and so just be careful of those types of products. Also can be a problem. uh, Another thing is corrosive metal. I want to tell you something. A lot of people like living by the beach. I live by the beach. If you live by the beach, you want to make sure that the materials you use are not corrosive prone. And by that I mean roofing, for example. Straight off the bat, I'll tell you, zinc roofing, are it's prone to corrosion. All right, nails, zinc nails, prone to corrosion. Metal fixtures, pipings, iron fixtures, different type of things, nuts, bolts that you use to do things, screws, all those stuff are prone to corrosion. And so you want to make sure that you pay little attention to stuff like that, or the people doing it for you pay attention to those little details. Um, you know, uh, being cautious will end up costing you a lot less and give you a lot more savings if you do them right off the bat. All right, there's a little saying in the carpentry trade that you should measure twice if you want to cut once. If you just measure once, chances are you may have to cut one, two, three, four times to get the right cut. All right. So in this case, I'm going to tell you, be as cautious as you can. Try to get involved and learn a little about the construction business if you're doing construction. We're not saying you're to be experts, but try to understand a little bit. Ask questions, even when they sound silly. Just ask a question, just to get a response and see. Sometimes you get answers that go a long way. All right. So again, just to recap real quickly, the few things I said to be cautious about, and those are not the total ones, by the way. I'm just saying right off the top of my head the things I know. All right, be very careful of sea sand. Sea sand can rot everything in the wall and cause the house to fall down on you, the decking, the concrete decking, everything, whole thing. All right, be careful of termite-ridden plywood, untreated lumber, yeah, ready-made door jams, ready-made doors, those doors that they import from abroad, furniture, certain types of furniture. Be careful of the wrong type of ply. There's several different types of plywood. Wrong lumber. Be careful of that. Pre-mixed mortar. Those things are increasingly popular in Jamaica. You want to be very careful of those. Not the ones that the truck come around and pour out. I mean, they come in some smaller bags, smaller than the standard cement bags, and they're becoming increasingly popular. Be very careful for, that they might be used for the wrong thing, the thing that was not intended for. And lastly, but not the only, but lastly, corrosive metal. Be careful of living near the beach, and the metals you use, like zinc roofing, and metal nails, the wire nails, piping, iron fixtures, nuts and bolts and stuff like that. All right, so better be safe than sorry. All right, thank you for watching. This is Wake Up and Live with Bob, and again, if you haven't done so, please subscribe, like, and share my video. Thanks for watching again.